Hi, it's Carib Carter Clews, and welcome to Mike Cobb's Offshore Investment Report, the very best investment advice podcast on the internet. I can say in the world because it's the World Wide Web. So, if you're a regular viewer, you know that's true. If it's your first time, you're about to find out, but not quite yet. Not quite yet, because today, Mike Cobb is not with us. Mike Cobb is not with us. Mike has taken a few well-earned, well-deserved days off, and I like that. I like it. I'm going to tell you why. Okay? I like it because it gives me the chance to talk behind his back. We all love that sometimes, don't we? Yeah, okay? But not about anything bad, because I don't have anything bad to say, okay? You know the old saying, speak well of the dead, okay? We all heard that a million times. But you know what? Sometimes it doesn't hurt to speak kindly of the living, okay? And let me tell you why that's important, okay? I don't want you to think this is just some sort of a suck-up sycophant session by Carib Carter to Mike Cobb, because it's not. It's not, okay? I'm going to be honest with you. When you get to be my age, I'm going to be 76 in 2 weeks. You don't bother sucking up to anybody, because if things go bad, the worst that can happen ain't going to last that long, okay? So you don't bother with that stuff anymore. But one thing you do is when you have something kind to say, you try to say it, okay? You try to say it. And why is that important to you? I'll tell you why. Because over and over, I tell you about move or invest to Central or South America, okay? Please, I beg of you. Folks, it's getting worse by the day in the U.S. The oppression, the so-called Inflation Reduction Act, what a bald-faced, rude and insulting lie to even call it that. The congressional budget, the Congressional Budget Office even said it's not going to reduce inflation. The Chicago School of Economics, the best in the country, said, what are they talking about? It's going to increase inflation. You don't spend $400 to $700 billion you don't have, print up more fiat money, and expect inflation not to get worse. So the title's horrible, but even more frightening is the 87,000 armed IRS agents they're going to unleash on who? You. 87,000. Folks, once they get those 87,000 there, to give you an idea of what's coming, that means the IRS armed forces will be almost as large as the U.S. Marines with twice the budget. Look it up. Senator Hawley from Iowa is trying to not defund the IRS, but say, no, wait a minute. No, with the weapons. And the Democrats are voting it down. You really need an armed IRS agent. Show them the door. But look, that's why it's so important for you to understand that it's time to get out of Dodge. Make your move to Central and South America. Taxes are next to nothing. You own a $200,000-$300,000 home in Central America, which up here, by the way, would cost you $2 to $3 million. Your taxes are going to be maybe $100 a year. Your property taxes. Say what? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's true. Income taxes, anything you earn outside of that country, zero. Unlike the U.S., it follows you everywhere. And what you do earn is a little minimum tax. Dip their beak in a little bit. That's it. Okay. So I urge you to move, and many times where I urge you to move is one of the Mike Cobb communities. That's why it's so important that I tell you about Mike Cobb, okay? Grand Pacifica, the most gorgeous residential resort community in all of Central America, okay, and all of Latin America. 3.5 miles of beachfront, gorgeous homes. Did I just say you can buy a home for $200,000 to $300,000, be $3 to $4 million up here? Grand Pacifica. Check it out, grandpacifica.com. Okay. Grand Belize, Grand Bayman, in Belize, another gorgeous Mike Cobb community. Okay. Mike and his partner, Joel Nagel. Joel also is an incredible guy. They own like 5 resorts throughout Central and South America and other properties that you can buy into, invest in, live in. And here's why it's so important for me to take advantage of this few minutes while he's gone on vacation to tell you about him, because I'm going to tell you something. Mike Cobb, the person, is more important to you than Mike Cobb, the Offshore Investment Oracle, okay? Or the offshore incredible developer, the most beautiful properties in all of Central or South America. Mike Cobb, the person, because let me tell you a little something. I told you I'm going to be 76, so if I've learned one thing, if I've learned one thing in all those 76 years, I hope I have, it's that be very careful who you choose to associate with whom you associate, okay? With whom you associate. Because the trust factor is all important. The person is more important than the property when it comes to the real estate. I'm just telling you. Okay, the property you can see. You either like it or you don't. You either like this place on the ocean or you don't. You like the place further inshore or you don't. Okay? You like a 3-bedroom or 4-bedroom, you don't. You want a smaller place, a cozy home. You want to pay $50,000, $100,000, or you want to pay $500,000 or $600,000. Got a note the other day from a dear friend of mine. Dear friend, I've known her for almost 50 years. And she said, Carter, could I find a nice place south of the border for around $700,000? I said, you can buy the whole country for $700,000. I'm giving you a break. Well, Grand Pacifica, Grand Bayman, Mike's property, the Reef in Honduras that he's building now, El Zante in El Salvador. These are places to invest, not just in the property, but in the person. Okay, I always say there are 3 criteria. Okay, can I share this with you? Can I share this with you? 3 criteria. Is the person unpretentious? Are they kind? And are they caring? Okay? If you got those 3 in one, you got a winner. When you Google those 3, Mike's picture should come up, okay? Am I overstating it? I don't think so. I don't think so. Let me tell you how let me give you some examples. When we first started putting together the Offshore Club and talked about, Mike, we have to help people see how incredible life is there. So, we need, some footage of you with, really neat looking car, gorgeous homes. And I said, whoa, wait a minute. It is, if you watch, the Mike Cobb's Offshore Investment Report, he's nicest guy in the world. He said, wait a minute. He said, we can't do that because that's not me. He said, that's not how I live. I'm not Ty, I can't even remember his last name now, or Grant Cardone. He said, I don't have a Lamborghini. I have a pickup truck. Unpretentious. Okay? Could live in a mansion, lives in a nice home. Okay? Unbelievable. Didn't build the biggest place for him in Grand Pacifica when he was there. He lived with the other people because he is one of the other people. Okay? Unpretentious. He doesn't, he travels all over the world. You see him on these interviews sometimes. He's in Switzerland. He's in Serbia. The other day, remember, I confused it with Siberia. And you see him sitting there, and he's laid back and relaxed because that's him. What you see is what you get, okay? So when somebody's unpretentious and they're not putting on personal airs, they're not going to put on property airs either. They're just going to tell you what's really there. That's number one. Number one, okay? Number 2, I say, is the person kind? Is the person kind? All right? If you're anything over 8 years old, you start to learn very quickly how important kindness is. Kindness, courtesy, okay? Let me tell you something. I've known Mike now for over 20 years. We met in Panama at an international living conference more than 20 years ago. Now more than 20 years ago, okay? And he was just he was just starting out then, and I've known him all that time. I have never in all those years heard Mike Cobb say an unkind word about another person. I want you to think about that. I wish I could say that about myself. Okay? But it's not true, and there's no use pretending it is. I think I'm kind, but not that kind. He is, okay? He is. He's kind. He's thoughtful. He's courteous. When we go out to eat with him, I measure people by this. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I shouldn't, but I do. How does the person you're with when you go out to eat treat the waiter or waitress? Okay? Okay? It's kind of a measure, okay? It's kind of a measure, isn't it? I've gone out to eat many times with Mike, and you know what? He treats, you think that waiter or waitress who he doesn't even know was his best friend because he's kind and he's thoughtful. That's number two, okay? This is not a puff job. It has a purpose. I'm telling you, I'm asking you to make decisions every week I do about investing in property or moving to a new home in Central or South America. I think one of the finest places, make it plural, you can move, are the Mike Cobb communities, because they're totally developed, and he builds that kindness in, okay? He builds that kindness into the community. They're made for people to enjoy each other, all right? Very important, okay? Very important. I hope you understand why I'm telling you all this now. It's relating right back to your living the good life at a great price in Central or South America, the whole purpose of the Offshore Club. Number three, are they caring? Okay? You might say, Carter, that's the same as kind. No, it's really not. You can be kind without a heart to care. Okay? That takes it up, right? Am I right? Am I right? That takes it up. Actually, I was going to say another level, but another quantum. Well, let me give you an example, okay? Let me give you an example. And again, all this goes back to trust, to trust. Whom do you trust? Okay? At that same conference 20 years ago when I first met Mike, my brother was there, Vince, right? Vince has all the same attributes as Mike, by the way. I wish I did. My brother does. Takes after my father. I take after my mother. She was a Calabrese. Any of you right now who are Italian are saying, oh my God, you're a Calabrese? Okay, well, I take after my mother. I'm a Calabrese. But my brother takes after my father, okay? And Mike is exactly the same and caring. So they met in that one time. Since then, my brother has had, brace yourself. It sounds like my brother is Job when I'm going to tell you the thing I'm going to tell you now. He had a heart transplant. A heart transplant. I think it's like 9 years ago now. Okay? Both hips replaced, both knees replaced, gallbladder operation. I mean, it's like sometimes I feel like in the Bible. Remember in the Bible, Job's wife said to him, curse God and die. Sometimes I felt like saying that to my poor brother, but he's strong, he's tough, he's a good man. And he keeps fighting back. A year ago, he had his wife die, okay? Like pancreatic cancer. One day she was there, next day she was gone. You know who asks about him every time we talk? You know what I'm going to say? You know what I'm going to say, don't you? Okay? Mike Cobb. He met him one time. How's Vince? How's Vince doing? Okay? That's caring. Why is that important to you? Because he cares as much about the people who buy the homes or invest in the properties at Grand Pacific, at Grand Belize, at El Zante, at the reefs in Honduras. I could go on and on and on. As he does my brother, okay? And that's a lot of care. So there you have it. I'm not going to stretch this out any longer because it almost sounds like I'm giving a eulogy. I'm not. He's fine. He's doing great. He's on vacation. But the personal is important, people. The personal is important, okay? The personal is as important as the property, or in other circumstances, the product, okay? Matter of fact, it's more important. If you trust the person, buy the product, buy the property, okay? So there you have it. He's away. When the cat's away, the mice will play. That's my tribute. That's my tribute to a guy who I consider not only a business partner, but a very good partner, but a very good friend. And somebody that you can trust. And that's what's most important. So thanks for joining me today on Mike Cobb's Offshore Investment Report. I'm glad he wasn't with us because we got a chance to talk. Folks, as I tell you every week, let's do this thing.